Imbibers, a very good afternoon to all of you. Once again, we are here with the another topic from your chapter, which is the morphology of flowering plants. Yes, we have discussed the introduction of the morphology of flowering plants in the previous session. In today's session, we are going to basically elaborate the root system. Yes, in detail, we are going to understand about the root system, how many root systems are existing, the parts of the roots which are basically involved in the different functions, and of course the modification of the root, be it the adventitious roots, yes, of course the false roots modification. We are going to understand that apart from only absorbing or being in the soil, there are certain roots which are basically help in the supporting, giving the mechanical support, performing the respiration system, etc. Yes, we are going to study about all of them. So before that, let me introduce you to myself. I am Anam Khan. I'll be your botany expert for the session 2023 and 2024, and we're going to discuss all the amazing and interesting topics related to biology. Yes, just like we have already completed our 3 chapters and we are on the 4th one, which is the morphology of flowering plants. After that, we're going to start with the cell chapter. Yes, let's start. No, not the cell chapter, we'll start with the anatomy. Okay, so moving forward, talking about the root system, in today's session we're going to study about the root. Yes, this whole particular chapter includes the morphology. And what is the morphology? A morphology is the external feature of a plant. Yes, whatever you see, whenever you see a plant, you see the external features like root, stem, leaves, flowers, etc. So morphology stands for the external features of the plant, and we're going to study about that only, and the topics to be covered in this chapter would be related to these things only. Yes, we have just had the introduction in the first session about the flowering plants, and we started with the different kind of a root system existing. Yes, true root, false root, fibrous roots, yes, and then we start going to discuss more about the roots only, because we have still lot to discuss about the root system. Next we have stem, leaves, inflorescence, flower, fruit, seed, semi-technical description of the flowering plant and description of some important families. Yes, we are going to do that, and we are going to discuss all the things in detail. And yes, we have in today's topic, we are going to cover the concepts related to the region of the roots, the root cap, meristematic regions, the region of elongation, region of maturation, modification of the roots, taproot modification, adventitious root modification, prop roots, tilt roots, pneumatophores. Can you see this? How many type of roots or the basic function of the roots existing, different region of the roots performing different function. We are going to study all of them in detail. Yes, shall we start? But before that, let's have a quick recap of what we have studied in the previous session. Yes, we have studied about the root system. We have studied about what is root. The root is the part of the plant which is present below the soil, and there is a part which is present above the soil. We call it as shoot system, and the part which is below the soil, it is called root system. The root system is located below the soil, attaches plants firmly to the soil. You know, the plants are standing tall because the roots have been firmly attached to the soil, giving a mechanical support and basically firmly standing on the ground. Next, the root system comprises of primary root, adventitious roots, roots and root hair, and the shoot system comprises of stem, branches, leaves, nodes, internodes, axillary buds and reproductive parts of the plant. These are all the parts of the shoot system. Yes, these are all the parts of the shoot system. We had discussion about that in the initial first session. So let's start our today's discussion. Let's talk about more of the roots. Next we have, what is this? This is a nice, what? It's look like a soda, tea, coffee, can discolor your tea. Drinks like these basically, which contain soda, caffeine, coffee, may lead to the discoloration of the teeth. Yes, of course, the root system, exactly the root system which is there for the water and the mineral absorption in the plant, anchors the plant properly, synthesize plant growth regulator, and sometimes also store the reverse food material. Yes, the root system which is present in the plants performs special functions other than the just absorption of minerals and of course the water. Yes, the plant is standing that kind of a tall is because of these particular roots are able to absorb the minerals and nutrition from the roots from the soil, and this is basically giving a support to the plant which is present above the soil, giving a strength so that it can stand still. Yes, but it also synthesizes certain growth hormones. Yes, we are going to study about the plant growth regulators in the plant physiology, but you know the plant growth regulator, especially the auxin, Yes, which is present at the root tip and the shoot tip. Cytokinin. There are some plant growth hormones which is being synthesized at the roots. Yes, sometimes this stores the reverse food material also. Yes, whenever there is a food reserves needs to be reserved, the roots also reserves the food for the consumption, for the later consumption. Yes, so also called as a reservoir of the food sometimes. So this is about the root system. This is of the few characteristics of the root system. Yes, calling more about the root system, next we have the, let's click on the each label and let's see basically about different regions. Yes, region of maturation. Okay, just a second. Okay, before that we explore every part, let me tell you that these are the few regions present in the particular roots. One is the region of maturation, this part. This is the region of elongation. This is the region of meristematic activity, and something is happening, just a second. And this is the region of root hairs. These are the root hairs which maximize the absorption, and this is nothing but the root cap. So these are the few regions of the root which are present. We are going to explore every regions one by one and see exactly what is the function of the particular regions present in the root, be it the region of maturation, be it the region of elongation, what is the function of root hairs, what is the region of meristematic activity, and of course what does root cap does. Let's explore each and every region one by one. Let's study about each and one of them. First of all, we have the region of, just a second, region of maturation. So let's study about first of all the region of maturation. Can you see that, children? Yes, this is the region of maturation, and if you see very clearly, this is a vascular cylinder. Yes, this is the area of maturation. These are the root hairs. This is the area of elongation, the area of cell division, and of course the root cap. What does the root of maturation does? There's always a question in your NEET examination also. If you ever want to go for the medical, there is always a question in which region of the root does the root hairs are present, and the answer is always it is the region of maturation. In the region of maturation, your root hairs are present, and the function of the region of maturation, is the cells here elongate, mature, differentiate throughout time. Yes, in this region, the cells which are present in the region of maturation going to basically elongate, mature, and differentiate throughout the time. Yes, the proximal to the region of maturation. Yes, and next, sometimes the epidermal cells here develop into a root hairs. There are some epidermal cells. Yes, the root region of maturation also have epidermal cells which basically develop into root hairs, and you know the root hairs what it does, it maximizes the absorption of water and minerals. So the root hairs are always present in the region of maturation. It is the region where the continuous differentiation and elongation is basically taking place. This is where the epidermal cells elongates and of course matures to form a root hairs. So this is about the region of maturation. Let's explore the other parts of the root. Let's see what we have. Let's go back.
I didn't get that. Could you?
Next we have, let's talk about the region of elongation in detail. What is the region of elongation? Once again, this is the area of elongation. Yes, what is the area of elongation? Region of rapid elongation and expansion of the cell. Children, this is something which I have told you in the previous session also, that the amount of length of our root and the length of the shoot is never equal. There is a point when the root stops growing, but there is no limit to shoot growth. Yes, it depends on the plant to plant. I am not saying every plant needs to be tall, every plant needs to be dwarf of a medium height. No, it's totally dependent on the growth and development of the plant, but the root does not grow as much as the shoot grows, because the root has a limited amount of capacity only to elongate. Yes, talking about the region of elongation, it is a region of rapid elongation and expansion of the cells. It is found near the region of meristematic activity. What is the meristematic? Simple. Talking about the meristematic activity, it means division. It means division capacity. Yes. So, this region of elongation, if you can see, this is the area of division and this is the area of elongation. It means that the continuous, basically the cell would be dividing, the meristematic cells would be dividing and will be contributing to the elongation of the roots, will be contributing towards the increase in length of the roots. So, it increases the roots length. This is the region of elongation. This is about the region of elongation in the roots. Clear? Yes, I hope this is clear. We have basically covered the two regions. One is the region of maturation, the other is the region of elongation. Let's see what we have next in the other regions. Going back again. Next we have the region of meristematic activity. So, what do we do in the meristematic activity? Meristematic activity in turn is a nothing but it is a dividing area, the dividing cell area, meristematic area, dividing area. Yes, it is located few millimeters above the root cap. Yes, this is your root cap. This is the region of your root cap. Shall we just, okay, this is going so broad. Just a second. Can you see this? This is the region of root cap and basically this is the region of meristematic activity. Apical meristem, root apex, shoot apex. Yes. What is the feature of this meristematic cells? The cells which are present in the meristematic regions having thin wall, very tiny size, a very thick protoplast and they are constantly dividing. Yes, the characteristics of the cells which are present in the meristematic region of the root are very thin, they have a thin cell wall, they are continuously dividing because the amount of division will be taking place in the region of meristematic activity and it will contribute to the what? To the elongation and further it will go into region of maturation and after the region of maturation they basically have some cells which will convert into what? It will convert into root hairs. So, meristematic activity is giving the cells for the division and basically different regions are being formed after the activity in the meristematic regions. The cells in the meristematic region will be continuously dividing, they have thin walls, they have thick protoplast and they are very tiny size. So, this is about the region of meristematic activity. We have discussed about the region of elongation, we have discussed about the region of meristematic activity and we have also discussed about the region of maturation. Yes, where the root hairs lies. Yes, so this is about all the region. Let's see what else we have left to explore in the regions of the roots. Next we have nothing but of course the root cap. What is the root cap? Yes, everybody knows about the root cap. The root cap is a timber-like structure, protects the root apex, safeguards the root apex, enabling the downward growth. Yes, the timber-like structure protects the root apex. It's kind of a cap only. What does the bottle cap do? Prevent water from flowing from the bottle. Yes, when you are not using it, you put a cap on a bottle. What that cap does? That cap protects the bottle from the overflowing of the water and basically spreading out. That is exactly the similar function of the root cap. The root cap basically protects the root apex. It protects the root apex and safeguards the root apex, enabling the downward growth. Yes, and also basically there would be a center which have the dead cells. Let's not talk about that. Let's go back and talk about the root cap. Next we have the root hairs. So, children, what are root hairs? Root hairs which are basically present in the region of maturation. They are small thread-like structure and what does they do? They basically maximize the absorption of water and minerals in the plants. Yes, the root hairs basically develop into the area of maturation. The small, delicate and thread-like structure absorbs the water and of course the minerals. So, this is about the root hairs. Just maximize the absorption. Let's go back and see what we have next. We have already explored all the region of the roots, be it region of maturation, region of elongation, region of meristematic activity, the root hairs and of course the root cap. We have explored everything. Yes, I hope this is clear. Yes or no? Yes? Now we have finished exploring. Let's talk about the modification of the roots. Yes, this is what I wanted to talk about. Not just the absorption of water and minerals, there are certain modification of the roots which perform other functions also. So we're going to talk about each and every modification of the roots in detail. Let's see what basically, let's learn about the storage roots. Yes. So what are the storage roots, children? These are the storage roots. Can you see this? Yes. Carrot, turnip, and of course the, yes, can you see that, all of them? I am forgetting the name of the third one. This is sweet potato, sorry. These are the sweet potatoes. Carrot, turnip, sweet potatoes are the edible parts of the plant which we consume is the root, and these part of the plant is the storage. So as you can see, the tap roots like carrot has a tap root system, as all you can see. The tap root system, the tap like carrots, turnips and adventitious roots like sweet potatoes are swollen and stored food. Yes, the reason why they are swollen, because they have stored food, and those stored foods you consume only for your benefit. Yes, the primary root stores extra food, the secondary root are thin and absorbs minerals from the soil. So these are the storage roots, these are the particular roots which are being developed from the tap root system and the adventitious root system. What they do, these roots absorb, these root basically stores the food. They are known for the storage of the food. The primary root, you remember primary, secondary, tertiary. In this, the primary root act as a storage. Yes, it stores the basically extra food, and the secondary roots are thin and absorb minerals from the soil. These are basically absorbing minerals from the soil. These are the particular storage food. All of you know this, all of you have consumed this. This is nothing but the storage roots. Yes, they are the parts which are basically the roots only. The part of the plant which is edible is the roots. Yes, there are some plant which is leaves are edible, some plants have fruits developing out the ovary which is edible, some plants have roots which are edible. That doesn't bother, because we always go for the edible part. Simple, we always look forward to our benefits. Moving forward, talking about the other particular modification in the roots. Next we have the, let's talk about the respiratory roots. Yes, other than the storage, other than the absorption of minerals and water, we have certain roots which does the respiration also. Talking about the respiration in detail, next we talking about the respiratory roots. These roots are found in the marshy areas. What are marshy areas? Daldal wale ped. Yes, those plants which are basically found in the marshy areas have respiratory roots. Yes, they grow vertically upwards and hence like aerial roots. Yes, as you can see, children, they are growing vertically upwards. Unlike the normal nature of the roots, which is basically positively geotropic, grow towards the soil, these roots are growing against the soil. Yes, they are basically vertically upwards. They are generally, the basic nature of the roots is always the vertically downwards, but they are growing vertically upwards. Yes, each root has numerous lenticles at the tips of the gaseous diffusion. Yes, these roots, children, these are known as also aerial roots. These have pores for the diffusion of gases. You know the respiration is important. Yes, the respiration is important for the plants also to basically lead to the what? The respiration is the only phenomenon required to break down the glucose and consume the energy. Yes, also called as breathing roots or respiratory roots. Examples as rhizopora or the mangrove plants. Yes, these particular plants will have vertically upward roots, will be having pores in them, which will lead to the diffusion of gases. Exchange of gases will take place through these roots, and they are also called as breathing roots, and the examples of such respiratory roots are rhizopora or the mangrove plants. Yes, clear? So we have seen two modification where the respiratory roots are basically present, and we have roots which is basically work as a storage organ. Yes, in the plant. Let's see what we have other than this. Let's go back and talk about the supporting roots. We have seen storage roots, we have seen respiratory roots. Let's talk about the supporting roots. Next we have the supporting roots. Talking about the supporting roots, everybody know, everybody has seen the banyan tree. Yes, sometimes the banyan tree is so big, it's so old, 200 years old, 100 years old, that it is impossible to find out the real branch, the real trunk. Yes, so the roots which are present in the banyan tree are nothing, are the supporting roots. Yes, we will call it as supporting roots. Some plants have roots hanging downwards from the heavy branches, also known as prop roots. Yes, these roots are also known as prop roots. Penetrates the soil, supporting horizontally, spreading the branches of the tree. The roots are long, woody and appears as pillars or columns. Example, bamboo and banyan tree. These, if you have seen this banyan tree, if you have seen bamboo trees, these are basically arising from the branches. It feels like they are basically the prop roots. Get inserted in the soil, giving support to the whole structure of the plant. Not a plant, of course, it's a huge tree, and that is why we also call them as supporting roots. And the plants which have, the trees which are basically having such kind of a roots are bamboos and of course the banyan tree. सबने देखा है बरगद का पेड़, exactly those banyan trees have these supporting roots or the prop roots. We also call them as prop roots. Clear? So now you see, other than just absorbing water and minerals, the roots also have different functions. There are edible roots which we consume. There are roots which do the respiration, which are present above the ground, grow above the soil, and there are certain roots which is basically giving the support to the plant, extra support for this huge structure, so it does not fall away. Yes, so these are the particular function. Let's click to view another example of such roots, supporting roots. Can you see, children, this is what? This is your sugarcane plant. Here let's see, arising from the lower nodes, main stem. This is also called as supporting roots because, children, have you all seen, this is basically arising from this part. Can you see this? They are arising from the lower node and maintain main stem, growing downwards in slanting manner and enter the soil, help the keeping the plant upright, providing extra anchorage. They also called as stilt roots. The stilt roots are also supporting roots. In the maize and the sugarcane, these particular roots are present in the maize and the sugarcane plant. It is basically present at the lower node, giving the large anchorage and supporting the plant to stand upright. Yes, there are multiple root caps present in the stilt roots. So stilt roots, prop roots. The prop roots are of a banyan tree, and when we talk about the stilt root, we are talking about the maize and the sugarcane. Clear? So this is about the stilt roots. Clear? Let's go back and see what we have left discussing about. Okay, so this is all about the modification of the roots. Let's see what we have next, and I'm going to click while I explore finishing. We have a question for you. Now you need to drop and drag the correct region of the particular roots which is basically present. Yes, quickly drop the correct region. Yes, everybody, quickly drop the correct region. Yes, the correct answer would be, everybody knows, this is the region of maturation, this is the region of elongation, and this is the region of meristematic activity. We have discussed all the regions in detail. Yes, you should know this answer. This is absolutely simple. Next question we have, identify the type of roots modification present. Yes, needed basically, everybody, we have discussed about it. Identify the different modification of the roots, place correct function they perform in the box below them. Yes, come on, quickly answer. This is also very simple. The correct answer is, this is the respiratory roots which are growing upward direction. This is the support roots. These are the storage roots. We have discussed about this. And children, we are coming into this particular session where we have discussed about the modification of the roots, where we have discussed about the region of the roots. Just like this, children, I have already scheduled all your classes on the Embibe app. So please join us on the Embibe app so that you can attend the particular session. You can answer this particular questions directly through the Embibe app. So what we have studied, that the root are divided into few regions called the root cap, region of meristematic activity, region of elongation and region of maturation. Yes, there is a region of maturation which have the root hairs which maximize the absorption, the few epidermal cells modified to form a root hairs. There is a region of elongation where the maximum elongation takes place, and after that we have region of meristematic activity where the continuous division is taking place because of the meristematic cells. And we have seen the modification of the roots in the form of a storage roots. Yes, the turnip, the carrot, the sweet potato, all are the used for the storage of the food. Next we have the supporting roots, which are the bamboo tree which is present as the prop roots, also known as the supporting roots present on the branches of bamboo and the banyan tree. Next we saw about the respiratory roots which are present in the marshy areas plants and helps in the respiration. They are growing in the upward direction. So this is all we have studied in today's session about the root. So children, if you have missed any session, if you couldn't attend any session, you can always go through the past Embibe classes which is present on the app, so that you can go through that concept whenever you have time, whenever you can go. Next children, the next topic would be related to the modification. Is potato a modified root? Yes, do you think the potato is basically present inside the soil? So does it make it a root? We will discuss that in the next session. But that before that, you know, this is the Embibe app. You have to log in through your phone number or your email ID. You have to just click on this, go for the school exam, CBSE, click on the 11 CBSE, select the required language, and then will land on this page. As you click on the home page button, you will basically go to the Embibe live classes, and all the classes or the upcoming classes is basically scheduled over here. These are the today's upcoming classes, as you can see, and these are the Embibe classes for the next 5 days. Next we have a practice session, because we have just studied about the roots. You can do what you do, you can register yourself and check out the pre-class activity. Yes, all the particular physics, maths classes also is scheduled. You can learn, you can practice, you can test, and you see how much you have achieved. This is the Embibe Lens app, where you can just scan the text, highlight the keywords and see everything in 3D. Until then, we meet again with the practice session to solve so many questions related to roots. Until then, keep imbibing. Take care. Bye bye.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.